Cardano, XRP, and Bitcoin are secretly cooking up a 73,000% shockwave, and if you blink, you'll miss it. Yeah, I said 73,000. So picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, half asleep, and you see Charles Hoskinson, Cardano's talkfest cowboy hat founder, casually dropping the claim that Cardano's total value locked could leapfrog every cent sitting on Ethereum and Solana times 4. Now, my first reaction, sure buddy, and my cat is about to invent cold fusion. But then he kind of starts laying out the kind of breadcrumbs, right? Bolt smart contracts onto XRP, weave Bitcoin into Cardano's privacy sidechain called Midnight, and suddenly the math checks out in a way that makes you want to double take your portfolio. So stick around, because by the end of this story, you might feel the insane urge to open a fresh browser tab and triple check your ADA bags, and maybe sneak into our free crypto Discord with the link that's in the description, because you're going to want company while you ride this roller coaster. Okay, let's rewind for a moment. Hoskinson sat down with Sam North from eToro. Now, it's supposed to be a chilled market chat, but Charles looks like he's got dynamite in his pocket. He points at the XRP ledger, yep, the same XRPL that moves billions daily for Ripple's banking buddies. And he basically says, great throughput, shame about smart contracts. Now, right now, XRPL is kind of like a sports car stuck in first gear. It's zippy, but can't really tweak the engine and strap on cool DeFi gadgets. Now, developers have been moaning for years that they can't deploy proper dApps without duct taping external servers. Hoskinson's fix? Right, graft an external computational layer straight onto the ledger. So think of it like giving the sports car an instant transmission swap without even opening the hood. Suddenly, real-world assets and kind of banking relationships glide into XRPL's ecosystem, and boom, smart contracts light up like the Vegas Strip. Now, here comes the juicy cross-chain twist. Hoskinson isn't planning to hand XRP a shiny new engine and walk away, no. He wants to plug that engine directly into Cardano's secret labs. Enter Midnight, Cardano's privacy-first blockchain that's been flying under the radar. Now, Midnight promises confidential transactions, wrapped in zero-knowledge snuggies that but can still integrate with public chains when you want transparency. Now, Hoskinson's grand vision is to let both Bitcoin and XRP tokens stroll into Midnight like VIP guests at an exclusive club. Why? Because it can borrow Bitcoin's security and XRP's banking rails while living inside Cardano's privacy playground. Now, you can create a three-way synergy that's basically the DeFi equivalent of smashing chocolate, peanut butter, and caramel into one unstoppable candy bar. And here is where the numbers slap us across the face. DeFi Llama says that Ethereum and Solana combined are bathing in roughly $72 billion of total value locked. Cardano, right now, a humble $393 million. About what Apple finds in the kind of couch cushions each quarter. So for Cardano to quadruple the ETH plus Solana war chest, its TVL must soar to roughly $288 billion. That's a mind-melting 73,182% leap. Sounds bonkers, but let's break down the logic like normal human beings at the coffee shop. First, smart contracts on XRPL would unlock a flood of tokenized real-world assets. Think treasury bills, invoices, loyalty points, maybe even the deed to Grandma's secret pie recipe. Ripple's war chest means liquidity isn't a problem, they just need the plumbing. So Cardano supplies that plumbing, right? Collects fees and soaks up TVL as projects bridge liquidity back and forth. Second, you've got Bitcoin's integration via Midnight is bigger than it actually sounds. Bitcoin, blessed its kind of OG heart, if you will, doesn't do fancy scripts without clunky workarounds. If Midnight lets BTC holders deposit, earn yield, and stay private without compromising Bitcoin's rock-solid security, well, you'll have hardened whales quietly parking value inside the Cardano ecosystem faster than you can say hodl. Of course, there's a dragon guarding this treasure: trust. Now, the crypto crowd still remembers the occasional Cardano launch delay and the civil war between Hoskinson and some corners of the XRP army that raged on Twitter like a bad televanova. But late last year, they kind of buried the hatchet. Now, Charles hopped on calls with Ripple's CTO David Schwartz and CEO Brad Garlinghouse, and suddenly the tone flipped from stay in your lane to pass the guck and let's build. Right? Now, we haven't really seen the formal partnership paperwork just yet, but small breadcrumbs keep dropping, right? Cardano's Lace wallet baked in a native XRP support, and so your kind of ADA and XRP can finally actually sit together at Thanksgiving dinner. And of course, Midnight's upcoming airdrop, Night and Dust tokens are embarked for XRP holders too. It's almost like Hoskinson is sending out handwritten invitations saying, sorry about the drama, here's some free candy, let's collaborate. But wait, there's more fuel, right? Ripple's brand new RLUSD stablecoin has sparked whispers about multi-chain support. Hoskinson openly says that he'd love to see RLUSD live on Cardano. So imagine stablecoin liquidity, right? Pumping through ADA's DeFi farms, bridging back to banks, all while earning yield with Cardano's low fees, right? Each extra layer of liquidity is like adding plates, I guess, to a bench press, right? The network grows stronger. The TVL ticker spins even faster. Now, let's address the elephant tap dancing on the keyboard: scaling, right? ETH killers often brag big and deliver small, right? Hoskinson counters with numbers. Cardano's EUTXO model already handles parallel transactions like an express checkout grocery line, right? Midnight's design isolates privacy computations, meaning that heavy zero-knowledge math won't clog the main chain. Meanwhile, of course, Hydra, Cardano's Layer 2 protocol, already clocked lightning-fast microtransactions in test setups. Put simply, the traffic off-ramp exists, so we just need cars on the highway. Still, every hero's journey needs a dark forest, right? Convincing Bitcoin maximalists to trust a sidechain, well, that's like persuading your grandpa to swap his rotary phone for a smart watch. And the XRP ledger community, well, they value speed and simplicity, right? Bringing in smart contracts could risk complexity. Now, Hoskinson's strategy hinges on a win-win design, right? Cardano builds their extra features, but XRP and BTC, holders, they can tap in only if they want to. There's no forced migration. It's an opt-in convenience, the way that you tested mobile banking before pouring your whole paycheck into it. Okay, so let me share a quick metaphor that popped into my head while kind of sipping my espresso. Picture 3 separate rivers: Cardano, XRP, Bitcoin, each flowing strong but in different directions. Now, at the kind of confluence lies Midnight, right, acting like a high-tech dam that can redirect water to whichever turbine needs a boost. Now, the more water that we redirect, the more electricity, or in our case TVL, that we generate. If engineering is sound, well, you can light up the entire city without ever draining the rivers dry. And yes, right, I can't talk about epic cross-chain plays without reminding you about Blowfin, the best up-and-coming crypto exchange that you haven't tried yet. Their link is sitting pretty in the description down below, so hit it, snag up those sign-up bonuses, and start experimenting with ADA ADA, XRP, or BTC pairs in a snap. It's like giving yourself a backstage pass before the main concert even begins. Okay, so let's climb to the narrative climax then, right? Pretend it's 2029. You open up your analytics dashboard and see Cardano's TVL ticking past $300 billion. Ethereum diehard fans are rubbing their eyes, Solana shillers are exhaling sharply, and the headlines scream, underdog chain overtakes giants through cross-chain alliance, right? You remember this very video and how we called the shorts, while the percentages still look laughable. Suddenly, that comment that you dropped in our Discord server ages ago, yeah, that one where you joked about ADA to the moon, looks, like a prophecy. You screenshot it, you frame it, and message the group. Told you so feels good, right? So reality check. Will every line of Hoskinson's vision roll out exactly on schedule? Probably not, right? Crypto roadmaps love detours, but the bigger takeaway is attitude here, right? Instead of battling for market share like kind of rival pizza joints, these chains are leaning into collaboration, right? We've watched tribalism slow down adoption for years. If Cardano, XRP, and Bitcoin can prove that interoperability and privacy aren't zero-sum, then they'll actually set a precedent for the rest of the industry, or at least what the rest of the industry simply cannot ignore, right? And nothing attracts capital faster than a proven blueprint. Now, as we glide towards the kind of finish line, here's what sticks with me. Cardano's play, it isn't about or just about raw numbers, right? Although 73,000% figure is, admittedly meme-worthy, it's about kind of building bridges where walls used to stand. It's about using Midnight to give Bitcoiners privacy without compromising, and of course, giving XRPL the kind of smart contract superpowers that their developers have been craving. If that synergy lands, right, the TVL needle swings not because of hype, but because real people find real utility. And that, my friends, is the secret sauce behind every enduring blockchain. And so, next time that you hear someone say Cardano's a ghost chain, send them this video timestamp, right? And ask them, how a ghost chain plans to host Bitcoin liquidity pools, Ripple's banking rails, and a privacy layer, powerful enough to shame your incognito browser tab. Then invite them to our free crypto Discord server. Again, link is in the description below, because healthy debates, actually taste better when shared with a community that actually reads white papers before moon tweeting.